Thanks, everyone. All right, I will call this meeting to order. We have two cases this evening. Ms. Claire, would you like to read the case for case 2024-228 to begin, ma'am?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
The case file contains the original application, the original receipt for payment of $600, the letter that was sent to the applicant, and also the contiguous property owners advising of the hearing this evening. We have the return receipts, certified letter receipts for the contiguous property owners, and there are also two letters that were returned as unclaimed. We have the notice that was sent to the Carroll County Times. We have a copy of the original notice that was in the newspaper, and we have a picture of the posting at the property.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Before we begin, I would like to remind our witness they are testifying under oath and they are bound by our testimony, and everything here is being recorded for archive. Would the applicant please step forward if they are present? Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Okay, and you all?
Good, thanks.
Right.
Mr. William
It's you.
Fitzhugh. All right, opening statement, sir.
I'm new at this. I'm not an attorney. So, I mean, they sent the letter saying it's going to be like going for a jury. I said, well, that lets me out. So, but yeah, I just applied for all the paperwork involved to have a attached garage built on my property. It's 22 by 24. I think I want to be within a little bit, within 5 feet of the property line, so I had to apply for a variance.
Because it's 10 feet, right?
It's 10 feet.
yeah.
I think I'm asking for 5 feet to be into it.
Okay.
So, you know, it's a nice plan. It matches the design of the house, the neighborhood. Apparently the contractor, I've been real happy with his work, what he's shown me. He seems to be every above board in all his work projects and does stuff in a timely manner. So I don't know what else to tell you. I guess I'm open for cross-examination. But I submitted the plans. I've submitted all the paperwork. To the best of my knowledge, they're all truthful and above board. So
Yeah.
So, you know, you'll have to bear with me. Like I said, I'm not experienced in this sort of thing, so I'm at your mercy.
No, yeah, we get the information from them and we kind of review it. And if we have questions, we ask, and then we'll ask if the public has any comment, if they have concerns, anything of that nature.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any negative feedback from all my neighbors. Of course, they were under duress. No, but I've had no issues, as far as my knowledge, with any problems.
Okay, that sounds good. Do I have any questions from my fellow board members at this time? Anything from the packet, anything that he said so far?
So you're basically just trying to build a garage on the side of your house that goes
Yeah.
about 5 feet away from the property line?
Yeah. There were some things that I wanted to do that were just, it wasn't worth the additional expense when you come to moving electric.
Utilities.
And stuff like that. So I pushed it a little bit further back, you know, so because I wouldn't have to do all that stuff. So, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. No, nothing out of the ordinary as far as I'm, you know. The only thing is, like I said, is the property line. That's the only reason.
Okay.
I have a question for Mr. Hale. Are there any concerns from like a zoning perspective on this?
There are not. So if the home were built brand new and that garage went on there, the setback for that area, for side setback, is 10 feet on either side of the lot. If he were to have a garage brought in, a building brought in, that building sitting beside his house, up against his house, if you will, can be within 5 feet of that property line. Doesn't look nearly as nice. It's not really the recommended way to go from, for most people. But so.
Sorry, just so I understand, so when you say that, are you talking about like a visual, or are you talking about like, are we talking structure, are we talking about easements, what are we
So
talking
if you
about?
set a building against a building, there's gonna be weeds getting in there, no way to clean it, no way to maintain it. Whereas if you added onto his property, so what is in question here is the side setback. 10 feet, if it's brand new, the side yard would have to be 10 feet. If you bring in a new building and set it, in the same application, you can be within 5 feet of your neighbor's property line. You're actually asking for 6 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I was originally going to have a separate detached from the house. But upon,
Is this attached to the house?
no, this is going to be, I'm going to be attached to the house. I was going to have it detached, but I just thought, it's going to be more expensive, but it'll look a whole lot nicer. Make it look like part of the house instead of a separate building.
So you said something about like weeds, if he's having it attached, I don't think, is that,
Well,
weed a
I'm
concern?
probably
I'm
overspeaking.
trying to understand what
The
you're saying.
important part is the setback. So most people would say, well, like this gentleman here, he didn't want to set a building beside his house. It wouldn't look as nice. So he decided to do it a different, better way.
I think it's kind of backwards, in my opinion. If you have a detached garage, you'd think you would need more room between the structure and the property line instead of less. With an attached one, I got to have more room between the side of the structure to the property line. It's to me, it's kind of backwards, but I didn't make the zoning laws.
You're good.
Nobody asked me. Nobody asked me. So.
Is there a reason why it's normally 10 feet?
So for the R10,000 district, the front yard, for instance, 35 feet, rear yard's minimum 25 feet, and 10 feet on each side. Those are the minimum for that district.
Yeah.
So
And that's been like that for years,
Yeah.
I mean.
yeah, I'm asking, is there like a reason for the 10 feet, or is that just the design standard?
Oh, why
For
it's like
the way
not
that
10
yeah,
versus like 5.
Yeah, exactly, like I don't
I think it's for
necessarily
utility.
understand why, like.
So the R10,000 district, those are the rules if you want to build a property in the R10,000 district. Those are the minimum lot line requirements. And that becomes very important when you have scenarios where people are starting to look for variances. So the rules exist to sort of
Give people leeway to do.
back things up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to actually have the garage brought a little bit forward to match, so I could have a walk-in from the garage onto my covered porch. And the builder says he don't think that's going to go because you have to have so many feet from the curb to the front of the house. So even though that porch is part of the house, it falls within that minimum distance between, from the curb. So I wasn't able to do that, so did the next best thing.
I think that was really my only questions.
Any questions from you guys? Concerns?
No.
Do you have any closing statements, sir, or did you cover everything?
No, my only question is, when can I start? I've been going through this since January.
Yikes.
So, it's been a real, well, I've changed things, and you got to wait for architect, you got to have it
yeah.
surveyed, it's just a process, but I've waited 30 years, I guess.
Yeah, what's a couple more days or weeks, right?
Yeah, this is costing me more than I paid for my first house. Believe it or not, it is. It's so, but that's the way I roll. I wait till things get really expensive and then I buy it,
Exactly.
So,
Mr. Doe, any other comments from you?
I do not. Well, actually, I do.
Okay.
So the planning commission heard this, wrong one. The planning commission had Mr. Fitzhugh in not too long ago. And there was a unanimous favorable recommendation from them to you all. So just want to let you know that. I see no reason why this is not a good fit-in project. It fits all the zoning code.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hale, appreciate it. Any public comment at this time from anyone in the audience? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. At this point, the board will give your opinion. I reviewed the paperwork, everything looks good to me, as Mr. Harrell said, he gave his point of view. Planning Commission gave us their favorable view, so I have no objections to that. Everything looks in order to me. Anything else from you guys?
No?
No.
All right, can we put it to, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Do I have a second
Second?
or a third? I
You
think,
need a third?
no, I'm just saying it. You want to say third? Okay. No, that's it then. We're all good. You got the approval from all of us. Thanks for coming in.
Okay.
Anything else?
Wait, I think we just made the motion.
You
I
made
think
the
we have
motion,
to-
yeah.
Oh, we have to vote. I'm sorry.
Am I wrong
Thank
on
you.
that, Jay? No?
Calling for a vote will be in order.
Nope,
Okay,
that's
cool.
correct. All the
Okay,
votes.
sorry, I got ahead of myself. All right, I'll start first with my vote. I vote to approve.
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 That's 4 for 4.
Okay.
Enjoy your
Batting
garage.
1,000. Okay, so what steps, anything left I need to do, or?
Jay or Dale, say.
Not with us.
Yeah, with us, it goes to the,
Right.
The city attorney will write up the opinion. Once the chairman signs that, the clock starts ticking on an appeal period. And I'll let Jay speak to if he wants to address a time frame on that or not. But once that opinion is signed, that's the last step in this process. And then zoning administrator Hale can approve a zoning certificate at that point.
How about the signage at the front of the house? Can that come down, or does that need to stay up?
I should stay up until the 30 days. Looks good, though.
Huh?
Looks good.
Oh, yeah, it looked like I-95 before I took the first one.
But Jay, I have a question for clarification. It's 30 days after Mr. Chairman Redkey signs, correct?
Right. So I should have the opinion to you tomorrow. So that should be an easy opinion. And so then you can get it to the chairman to sign. And you can issue the permit in the 30-day period. There's no problem with that. It's just be aware that someone could appeal this to circuit court within the next 30 days, which would put everything on hold.
Okay, so I should still wait 30 days before I tell my man to start the project?
That's the safest course of action.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what Mr. Hale told me 30 days after so I wouldn't, I told my man, probably middle of October.
Well, it makes you feel better. Come in with it. I'll get you your permit. And that way you have that. And just wait 30 days and pull the trigger.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, is there anything else? I'm relieved. I'm free to go.
yes, sir. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming in. Hopefully everything goes well with the build.
Thank you for hearing my foolishness.
No, it wasn't foolishness.
You'll have a good evening.
You too, sir. We're gonna take a little bit of break before that's 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I think it starts.
7.
So
That's right.
sure people are here.
I mean, I don't know if it was a Gene box or cotton, but it grips on this so bad. I mean, you almost just want to, you almost want to your pocket.
Dan, I've got 7 o'clock. Are we ready to roll?
Thumbs up.
Gave me the thumbs up. All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call our second case to order. Ms. Clara, would you like to read case 2024-229 for the record?
I will. The case file contains the original application, the original receipt for payment of $600, a copy of the letter that was sent to the applicant and all the contiguous property owners, the certified letter receipts, a copy of the advertisement that was sent to the Carroll County Times, the original newspaper clipping with the ad from the Carroll County Times, and a picture of the posting that was placed at the property.
Is the witness or applicant present at this time?
Yes.
Would you please come forward, sir? Just want to remind you that you are testifying under oath and you are bound by your testimony, and you may begin with your opening statement.
Okay, my name is Chris Wilson. I am a member of the Chatelain LLC, which is the recorded property owner. What we're proposing to do, let me start by saying this. Let me go back and first I want to explain the property because it's kind of unique. This property goes back to 1936. It was recorded May 9th, 1936. The lots were 25 feet wide and 125 feet deep in 1936 when they recorded the lots. Since that time, the property sizes have varied, meaning that some houses have 6 lots, 25 times 6, to get the depth of the width of the lot. 17 occasions, 34 lots total, they took 2 lots to combine 50 feet by 125 feet to make up 1 lot, already in this development called Reaver. It's called Reaver property. So that's why we're here. I have 4 lots on Ridge Avenue. I want to combine to put 2 houses on the 4 lots. It's 50 feet wide by 125 feet deep, which doesn't meet the requirements of the 7,500 square feet zoning. So that's why we're here. So to try to make things work out, I took a house that's 24 feet wide to put on 1 lot. So it's 50 feet minus 24 feet will be 26 feet. Divide that in half, be 13-foot side yard setbacks instead of the required 10, just to kind of get a little bit more buffer than the 10 feet required. There is an option to do 1 house on the whole property. We could go 8 feet to the property line, which doesn't make sense. I think it's just too close to the property line. So my proposal is to split the property into 2, as it's already been done 17 times in the development of Reeves property. There's also 2 lots that are recorded. One is the corner of Riverton, if I'm saying that right, Riverton Road, Riverton Avenue. It's for sale. It's 6,250 square feet. That's a building lot. Directly across the street from that is another lot that's 6,250 square feet. So I feel like I'm kind of trying to be compromising instead of building 1 house to do 2 houses. And it's also going to increase the value of the property around it by building 2 new houses. So like I say, what we're asking for is a variance of 1,250 square feet from the required 7,500 square feet. So if you took an area about 10 foot wide, which is 10 foot from that wall to about here, times the 125 feet of depth of the property is what we're asking for. Again, the side yard setback is 10 feet. We're proposing to put the house 13 feet off the property line instead of the 10 required. So we'd have 13 feet, 24-foot wide house, another 13 feet, another 13 feet, another 24-foot wide house, and then 13 feet. So it'd be 26 feet between the two houses. It is already kind of conforming. It is conforming to what is already in the neighborhood. As I say, there's several houses that took 2 lots and did the 6,250 square feet. And I've got copies of all the lot records with me if you wanted to see to prove that it's been done that way. And it specifically says on the tax record, 6,250 square feet. And like I say, some of them, they took 6 lots and put 1 house on. It's recorded. I get 4 separate deeds right now on each of the 25-foot wide lots. And I talked to Daryl before, and he said we could build a house on each lot, but 25 feet wide is kind of unpractical. Doesn't fit the neighborhood, would be kind of out of place. The value wouldn't be in proportion to what's already there. So take what's already there and just do what's already there. That's what I'm proposing.
Okay. Questions by my fellow board members at this time?
The square footage of the house, is that in line with what's around it roughly?
Yeah, I took, there's a house on Maryland Avenue. I have a plan, if you wanted to see it, of what a house would look like, but I couldn't exactly tell if it was 24, 25, or 26 square feet wide, but some of them are like 26 foot wide, so I'm thinking 24 would kind of be the minimum that we want to go. I was just trying to keep it smaller to kind of keep the size of the lot as big as possible without building too wide of a house. We could go 20, so if it's 50 times, so we could go 28 foot and still be in, within the minimum building line.
10-foot setback?
Yeah, 10-foot setbacks. But yes, to answer your question, I didn't get pictures, but there's 2 houses on Maryland Avenue right next door to each other, which is the first street in, we're the 3rd street over, that has 2 houses that are exactly like that we're opposing to do. Yeah.
And you said you're basically just lopping off 10 feet?
Excuse me, I misunderstood.
You said you're basically just lopping off like roughly 10 feet from like the width? So that
Exactly.
normally it's
If,
an extra
if they would have
whatever,
done this right, they would have taken the
125.
lots, because on the right side of the property, that house faces the other street, so it's the backyard. When they took those lots off, they should have made this lot 20 feet wider. We wouldn't be standing here because we would meet the requirements. They kind of, since 1936, when they originally recorded this stuff at 25 feet wide, nobody at all built the house 25 feet wide. Then the zoning laws changed to 7,500. So they said, okay, well, let's take these 3 lots and make 1 lot. Okay, well, I'll take these 6 lots and I'll make 1 house. So it kind of just got all out of conformation of like the way you would see that today. Nobody would do that. It'd all be recorded as whatever the size is, and that's the house you build that 1 lot. So a lot of these are taken, like I say, 2, 4, 5, 6 lots to make it 1 house.
Are there any concerns from the city or zoning on this?
Well, I'm gonna state some facts. So this is the R 7500 district. So in that district, the gentleman's correct. It was platted in May 9th, 1936. And did you all get a copy of this?
Yep.
Okay, so not sure what the intention was back in the day, but in any case, so this gentleman, a dwelling on this, so in taking these 4 lots and making 2, the only thing that they're not able to satisfy is the minimum footage of the lot. Okay, they are adhering to the other things that they need to do. 3 off-street spaces for parking. In this case, one of which is allowed to be in front of the house, between the house and the sidewalk. That's legal. The minimum square footage of the property must be at least 1,000 square feet of living space. They're able to do that. They are meeting all required setbacks. 35-foot front yard, 25-foot rear yard, and 10 feet on both sides. So, except for the square footage minimum of the lot, they meet all requirements.
That's good to me.
What's the estimated sale price that you expect these two houses to be relative to what the, because you brought up property values, right? So like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm,
Yeah.
what I'm getting at. I assume that, the people around don't want anything that's gonna decrease their property value. So,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah, great question. And I would say this, that I don't have a plan picked out, but right now it's costing $250 a square foot. So if I had a calculator and did the math, if you said it's 24 feet wide times 36 foot deep, anybody got a calculator, we can figure it out.
1,134 square.
So that's
feet.
1,100 square feet there,
Yeah.
times two, because it's a two-story.
Okay.
So that's 2,000 some square feet, times 200 some dollars a square foot. It's gonna put the value at 400 some thousand dollars.
okay.
And I can guarantee you that when you sell that for $400,000, it is only going to increase the value of the houses that are around there because it's a newer house selling at a higher price. When the appraiser comes out, he's going to say, this one sold for 400 some thousand dollars. That's what they have to value that house at, minus the depreciation of the older age of the house, maybe some improvements the house has to have, maybe new siding, new roof, new windows, something along the lines of that. But in fact, it's going to increase the value of the houses around it.
That's assuming that the other houses in the area are less or equal to that, though, correct?
They're going to be less because the cost, what it costs to build a new house now is just outrageous. So, yeah.
Okay.
It is very expensive to build a new house right now. Yeah, which has had an effect on our business.
I guess I just have one question for Mr. Darrow here, and I guess for you too. So the plan, as we see it here, is just to have a house on each lot, correct?
So there's 4 lots,
Right, and you want to
4
combine
recorded
them.
lots, 25 feet wide. What we're proposing to do is cut that in half. So it'd be 50 feet wide by the normal 125. So there's no issue front to back. It's the side. To get to 7,500, we'd have to be 60 feet wide times 125, which comes out to 7,250 exactly.
And your plan is to have 2 separate homes then, correct?
2 separate homes.
And there's no, I'm just me clarifying, and there's, if, let's just say something's happened, would there be any differences if he can only do like 1 home, or if I went to more homes? Like say he couldn't do 2, he'd do 1, would he have to come back for something different again, or no? Sure. He would, okay. I was just trying to, something goes wrong, hey, I'm gonna do 1 home, what would happen after that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions then. Was there any comments from the planning commission? Did they have any?
Yes.
Okay.
The, I voted 3-2.
3-2, okay.
They did, it was decided a favorable recommendation.
Okay.
Do we have any commentary from them? I think you said it was 3-2. What were the pros and cons here?
It was a few months ago, sir. That was April.
That's fair. That's
So
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's been a while. But the important part from me,
I don't remember any of the comments, quite honestly.
there's some comments from the crowd.
Yes. Yeah, some neighbors had some, well, and they were legit. The one neighbor to the right-hand side, which backed up to her backyard, she was concerned originally, we had the driveway pretty much up against the side of her fence. So I went back to the survey and I said, let's move the driveway to the other side of the house. So it completely moved it off of her fence. Not even, I mean, it's probably, well, if we put 1 out front times 50, so it's probably 40 feet away compared to it was like 8 inches away. Which after we looked at it, reviewed it, we said, yeah, it doesn't make sense to put it right up against the fence of a neighbor. But it's the backside of her property. We did move it.
Okay.
As you can see, the driveways are to the center of both lots. The parking area, excuse me, parking area.
Yeah, so I guess the question, I'm not sure if it matters for the record or not, but are these 2 single-family homes then?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And I've got a picture. I actually brought a picture along just to kind of, I don't know if you guys have been out to that neighborhood or saw it, but that's what.
Oh, okay, so it kind of looks like the Ryan Homes and like Meads Crossing a little bit. Okay.
And there's houses in that neighborhood that kind of pretty much look like that.
Okay.
You know, this is 24 feet wide, and the depth of it is 28 feet wide. So
Okay.
So Chairman, so if you don't mind, so.
Yeah.
I did memorialize in the minutes. There was concern about would not fit the characteristics of the community by a couple individuals. Yeah, the parking from the one citizen that's been changed. She was worried about it being so close to her fence. And then other than the changing of the look of the neighborhood, that's pretty much all there was.
Okay. Any public comment at this time?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just make a quick
Yes,
point
please.
of clarification, and the city attorney may want to elaborate as well. But so this evening, the variance is for the lot size. So procedurally, what would happen is the 4 lots will be consolidated into 2 lots of 50 feet wide rather than 25 feet
25,
wide.
25,
So we'll
25.
have 2 lots instead of 4. At that point, the applicant can apply for a zoning certificate to construct the single-family home. But tonight's decision just allows the lots to be
2.
consolidated right from 4 to 2.
Okay.
So, that's.
So you're alluding to there might be a follow-up.
Right, so
Okay.
there's, right, so, once the lots are consolidated, something could change, you could, the
They have to be
applicant could decide to sell
consolidated
the lots, but.
and then recorded and all that stuff, right? Okay.
But the zoning only allows a single-family home by right.
Right.
So if the lots were sold or something, the new owner would have to come back here if they wanted to do something other than a single-family dwelling. So just trying to kind of clarify the process, because we've talked a lot about what's going to happen,
Like building-wise,
ultimately.
right.
But that's kind of beyond what we're deciding tonight.
So it's just we're focused on 4 becoming 2 lots essentially, and that's
Exactly.
where we're at. Okay.
Yes.
That's clear. Thank you for that. Any other comments from you guys? Any other comments from the board?
Nope.
It's good. Any comments from the city attorney?
None, Mr. Chairman.
Sounds good. Any other comments from you, sir? Any closing statements you'd like to provide this time? I will close the public hearing. From my point of view, I want to express my opinion. First of all, thanks for providing all that information, the dates, kind of what we've done in the past. That was news to me of 1936 and kind of that we've done it so many times in the past. So thanks for providing that. The drawings were pretty good. Thank you for walking us through it, explaining what's changed, what you're going to be doing. For me, I have no concerns. It looks good. Mr. Hare provided his feedback and his concerns of what the public has done in the past. So I have no other further comments. And once again, thanks for coming. Thanks for taking the time to explain everything and walking us through the process and what you've done so far.
Absolutely.
Any other opinions from my fellow board members here this time?
No, sir.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Everyone in favor is signaling by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone in favor say nay? Ms. Claire, let the record show that's approved 4 out of 4. Anything else? I think that's it. No. I'll close it. Thank you everyone for your time and I appreciate it. Have a good evening.